Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we're talking about what is the best long-range rifle in the current meta. As you guys should know, the Krig 6 was buffed, and it got a very good buff. Definitely makes it a top-tier viable weapon as far as for the long-range meta. In today's video, we're going to be comparing the Krig 6 to that of the Grau, the Kilo, and the M13 as picking what is the best long-range rifle. First things first, obviously the class setups you guys should know. M13 Kilo are going to run the exact same way. Monolith, Tempest, Marksman, VLK, Commando 60. Kilo, you guys know Commando, VLK 60, the Prowler barrel for the best bullet velocity and range, and then Mono. With the Grau, same exact setup. One thing I do recommend trying different this season, I know majority players previously ran tack laser or rubberized. I do think the VLK is what you should be using for the current season meta. And then obviously with the Krig, the one weird thing about it is it doesn't have barrels similar to the other Cold War weapons. It has some weird stray speed barrels, which is a long range weapon. So the only real barrel worth using is going to be the Ranger barrel because it improves your bullet velocity. So the Ranger is the only barrel, obviously stacked with the agency suppressor and field agent grip. 60 round mag is going to be the same as all the other weapons have. And then for your preference for the reticle, I believe I just saw a couple other streamers using a non-red dot. They're running the iron sights with probably a wrap, a rear grip to help them improve their ADS speed. So those are the class setups. What we're going to take a look at next is the time to kill and up to what range, both the base range and the second range of these two weapons to see which gun is best in that category. All right, so what you guys will see on the screen now is the graph of the four weapons and their time to kill. The biggest fact you'll see first is the M13 does have the most range, with Kilo being second and the Krig on the low end in the range, which is a big negative. It does have the least amount of base range, but then if you guys take the time to kill where the M13 and Kilo drop off, the Krig does kill the fastest and by a long shot, which is what makes it excellent. So in the time to kill category, above the base range, above 50 meters, the Krig is the fastest killing weapon, which to me is a huge factor. Majority of your fights are between probably 35 to 60 meters. So if the Krig kills faster than the Kilo, Grau, and M13 at any of those ranges, it's going to make it a top 2 weapon in my opinion. Obviously, you guys see the Kilo does kill the fastest up to its base range, and only the M13 and the Krig will kill faster. The Grau is on the low end, and as I said, in the accuracy category was the worst of my testing. And you guys can see time to kill category, Grau is on the very low end. So I do not recommend it in the current meta. I would take the Krig and I would take the Kilo and the M13 over the Grau currently, even though it is my favorite weapon. So then we take a look at the second time to kill. You guys will see this is what makes the Kilo better than that of the M13 and the Grau is it does have 23 damage instead of 22 like the Grau, which makes it one less shot to kill. So the Grau would take 12 and then the Kilo would only take 11. So it helps lower the time to kill, keep it at only 800 milliseconds where the Grau goes all the way to 900, which helps still keep the Kilo in the meta. Obviously with the FAR, the AMAX, and the MAC-10 all were pretty much the most popular weapons. The FAR MAC-10 got nerfed. AUG M16 got nerfed, which were the two long-range rifles. I 100% think the Kilo meta will be back paired with an AMAX. I don't know if the SMGs are all that viable currently, the Bullfrog and MP5. But in my opinion, the Kilo right now would be going back into one of the top 2 most 3 popular weapons. Probably stacked with that Krig just because people want to look for a different weapon to use. So base time to kill, the Krig and Kilo are identical. 5 millisecond difference you won't notice. And then if you take a look at the second range, the Krig is the fastest killing. So in the time to kill category, the Krig definitely takes it without a doubt, with the Kilo being a close second. So what you guys will see next on the screen is going to be the recoil patterns of all these 4 weapons. Obviously, you guys should know Kilo is the most popular weapon because it has no recoil. It definitely was noticeable. This was tested at 25 meters, which was pretty far away from the wall where I was shooting. The Grau and the Krig, you guys can both see on the right, definitely not as accurate. There's definitely a little bit of variance side to side while it's going up, and then the Kilo and M13 is like pretty much perfectly straight. The Kilo did have, in my opinion, one of the best horizontal recoils and then had the least amount of vertical. These recoil patterns are put perfectly side to side, so you can see the M13 does have less recoil, does pull pretty hard, so I would still rank it pretty good in the accuracy category. And then the Krig is not as accurate because the axial arm 3 times doesn't do what the VOK does, stacking with that commando to help improve your horizontals. So I personally was ranked Kilo #1 most accurate. M13 would be a close second, and then the Krig would be third, and the Grau has the most vertical recoil. Definitely was like significantly more than the Kilo and M13, and a lot more than the Grau or the Krig. The recoil pattern was like the extra 20 bullets I think kicked more than the Krig. So the Grau was the least accurate, which was a big negative. Then on the screen you guys will see the bullet velocity. The one negative, the Krig does have a slightly less bullet velocity than that, by about 10% less than obviously the Grau, Krig, and M13, which is a huge negative. And then what you guys will see on the screen, this is just a little bit of data I like to include in what makes the Krig good, because there is one factor that obviously the Grau and Kilo are pretty much the same weapon, just different fire rate. The Krig does have the 60 round mag, but is doing 33 bullets per mag. So you factor your damage per mag, you're doing about 1980 with the Krig, only 1680 with the Kilo and the Grau, and only 1440 with the M13. So if you compare the M13 to the Krig, if you hit every shot, you'd be able to do 2 more downs with the Krig than that of the M13. Then the M13 compared to the Kilo and Grau, 1 less down than the Krig compared to the Kilo and Grau. You can get 1 more down. So the damage the Krig has is very good. That's what's going to make it, in my opinion, a top ranked weapon. The Kilo and Krig is going to be personal preference to me on which one you prefer, but definitely after reviewing the data and going through and looking at it, the Krig is in the top tier right now. As I'm going to be saying every single video, the AMAX is currently king. It's on a throne of its own after all the nerfs, but the Krig with the buff they had, it's pretty much ranked head to head next to that Kilo as one of the best weapons to use. The biggest factor when you compare what makes the Kilo worse or what makes the Krig better than the Kilo is being a Cold War weapon. You can improve it to be better in the close range, as far as like with the greater stock with the sprint to fire, and then obviously by taking on the VOK with the Kilo with the long barrel and the mono, your ADS is lower. So the Krig is going to be able to have a faster ADS, faster sprint to fire, faster straight speed. A lot of mobility stats will be better with the Krig than that of the Kilo, which is what makes it excellent. So you just compare the Krig versus Kilo head to head. The Krig has better mobility, it's better, faster time to kill slightly, not as accurate, not as much bullet velocity, but is probably going to be a little bit better in the close range and not as good at the long range as the Kilo. So I would rank them pretty much #1 and #2. M13 and Grau, if you like the guns, you can definitely use them, but the Kilo and Krig will definitely be much better for you to use right now in the current meta. So that's pretty much it to compare what is the best long range rifle. Definitely would think the Kilo will definitely be a top meta weapon right now, with the Krig being picked up as well because people want to try something new. So if you guys learn anything new in the video that's helped you out, please make sure you guys leave a like. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and leave a comment what video you guys want to see next. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see ya.